Hello everyone, so in today's video I wanted us to go through image generation softwares that we have out there. So right now we have a couple and they each do different things. So different AI generation softwares that we have do different things better compared to each other. For example, when you have realistic photos, something like Flux is going to do it very well compared to Microsoft Designer. Each image generating software is going to be different and each one has a different strengths and weaknesses. So today I wanted us to go through specifically Microsoft Designer and see what the strengths are and what the weaknesses are. So I came up with a script where we can have different categories of photos. So for example, we have realistic photos, we have anime, we have comic book style, we have 3D renders, we have digital art, we have Cartoon Network, and then we have vintage aesthetics. This is like 1970s kind of theme. And then after that we're going to have fantasy art and surrealism, and the last one is written text. So this is just basically going to go through the different types of image generating softwares that we have, and at the same time give you an idea of which one is going to do what. So I'm going to split this into 7 videos where each video we're going to go through a specific image generating software. So for this video we're going to go to Microsoft Designer. So I came up with prompts that we are going to use for the entirety of the videos, so this series, sorry. So these are the prompts, and it's basically just 3 prompts of the same style so that you get an idea how good it is performing in a different specific style. So for this one, this is like the realistic photo style, and this is Microsoft Designer. Again, this is by Microsoft. I'll show you how to get to it in a bit, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like when it comes to realistic photos. So this is realistic photos and I like them so far. They're good, but I honestly think that they could be better. Like this one still looks a bit fairy tale-ish. The wrinkle face still looks realistic, but it still does not look completely human as of yet. And then for the cityscape one, it's still pretty good, but still does not look realistic enough. So Microsoft really does it well, but when it comes to realistic photos, they are not as good. When it comes to anime though, that is where I will dare say that they shine. They have really good photos. So Microsoft Designer, this is a series of prompts that I used. So like for the first one, it's a magical transformation. This is a girl and it's pretty good. Prompts I've come to learn don't necessarily have to be very specific. They can be short and still do the job pretty well. So this is anime style, an intense shonen battle with energy blast and dramatic poses. Again, really good job. This one that I was most impressed by. So this is a slice of life scene of our high school students eating lunch on a rooftop, and it's really well. The weird thing is I didn't even tell it that I specifically want anime. I just gave these short prompts and really did a good job with it. So when it comes to Microsoft Designer, I've come to see that it really shines when it comes to cartoon ish kind of thing. Like for example, the first one was a superhero dramatic pose, and it really did a good job. So for example, if you want to write a comic book and you're trying to figure out which image generating software you can use to come up with your own images, because that's something that more and more guys are going to start now doing, is coming up with their own images for their own comic books, for their own stories, and for their own videos even. So yeah, so this is pretty good. If you have your own comic book, you can describe it. Just remember that I've given it these descriptions, but you can come up with your own description and still manage to come up with as good photos as these ones. So that is comic book style, and then this is like a 3D render. So this is for people who are like designers or architects and who want to have an idea of what that building or anything is going to look like. So for example, if you're coming up with a 3D render of a house, this will be a very good place to start. You can come to Microsoft Designer and give it a prompt, and then it's going to give you an idea of what you have in mind. So for example, for this one, like the first one, I was trying to come up with something that can be used in games. So this is like an air interior, and it's good. I honestly think it's really good. And then this was definitely one of my most impressive ones, was a bowl of fruit, and it's really good as well. So you can see even the color textures, the lighting, the shadows, really did a very good job. And then this is for the architects out there. This is just coming up with an eco-friendly skyscraper, and you can build on this. And that's the idea that we have when it comes to AI, is it gives you ideas on where you can start building from. So this is, for example, cartoon animals. This is for anyone who's writing books for kids. So this is a group of mismatched animal friends having theater party, and then a mischievous cartoon outfox, a grumpy bear. So this were pretty good as well. I like them. Okay, so the other style that I have is minimalist design, and this is a simple logo using negative space and one color. So if you're looking for ideas on coming up with a brand promotion, or you want to see what it will look like, this is somewhere where you can start. So if you have a company and you want to come up with a logo but you want it to be very minimalistic design, Microsoft Design would be a very good place to start. As you can see, it really has art like really well compared to like realistic images, but when it comes to cartoons, infographics, it really shines. So that's like for the minimalistic design. So the first one was a logo, the second one was just coming up with something that you can be advertising, and you can see it's quite minimal. It looks really realistic when it comes to advertising. So you can switch this with your own brand and just tell it that I want the name to be this, which you're going to see later on if it's going to spell. But the image generating softwares are getting way better. When they came out, they couldn't spell, but now they can really spell it really well. So this is for the artist out there. This is for if you're going, because we obviously are going to be getting art that's going to be AI generated. That's going to be a thing now. And so for those people who have an idea in mind, I legit think that this is like one of the best ones I've seen so far when it comes to just image generating softwares with art in mind. So like the first one, when it comes to surrealism, I just wanted to see how it's going to be able to capture art. And so for the first one, a melting clock draped over a tree branch in a barren landscape, and did a really good job with that. I really like the second image though. I had a picture in mind where this person has a rainbow cloud for a head, and then they are raining down on flowers, and it did such a good job that this is like one of my favorite images that I've ever generated. And then the third one as well, a staircase leading to impossible doorways in the sky. So all these prompts I got from Claude, and Claude kind of like give me an idea on the different skills that I can use when it comes to trying to see which image generating software best shines in what. Okay, so the next one that we have is going to be digital art, and this is also really well done, but not as well compared to how it's done with the other specific categories. For example, cyberpunk cityscape with neon lights and flying cars did really well with that. I still think that it can be better, it can look way more realistic than it does, but it was good. I was looking for digital art as well, so I was trying to look like for an animal like the chimera, but this was also a really good one. But these are like a fish stuck to as a fox with, yeah, it's so if you're trying to come up with like fantastical creatures, this would be a good place to start. They won't look realistic, but it's art. And then the fourth one, when it comes to emotions, I think it really did really well when it comes to emotions. Yeah, so this is just an abstract representations of emotions using bold colors and shapes, which was really well done. That's something that you can hang up in a wall somewhere. Okay, and then this is the other one. This is like a vintage retro aesthetics. The first one did not look as realistic as I would liked it to look, in my opinion. 50 with cars and retro fashion. Yeah, so I would have liked it to be a bit better. And then the second one is 1960s with constant posters, which is also really good, but it can be better compared to other image generating softwares that I've seen that we're going to go through in the other videos. Probably it's my prompting, but so far not really well compared to how it's done in the other categories. So this is fantasy art. This is for someone who's trying to come up with their own books, so fantasy books, and you have a creature in mind, or you have a place in mind. So for example, the first one is a majestic dragon atop a crystal mountain. So this, you have to remember, it's not completely realistic because it's still fantasy when it comes to like fantasy novels. It does a very good job compared to that. So for example, for the second one, again, we have fairies and mushrooms. This is like a very enchanted forest kind of theme. So it was an enchanted forest with glowing mushrooms and fairy creatures. The mushrooms were glowing, the fairy creatures were there, so it's a pretty good image. So I guess it shines in that area. Maybe the dragons it doesn't, specifically dragons. And then the third one was not what I had in mind when I was thinking of the image as well. It doesn't look as realistic, but you can see it was trying to like capture, because it was fantasy, so fantasy to it probably means universal kind of thing, because it had to bring in the stars and the moons. And then you can see there's small wizards here. Okay, so the biggest thing when it comes to image generating softwares is whether or not they can write written text. The first one was a handwritten note saying the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, and it is done. Like, you can spell, you can clearly, it didn't get anything wrong, but it's not handwritten yet, so it will get better. But I guess if you have something that's quite famous, because for example the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog is one of the most famous sentences in English, so I get why it will get that correct. Because when it comes to the second one, it like a chalkboard with a phrase I'm not even going to attempt to spell that. So yeah, with that it did get most of the words or most of the letters correct, but when it comes to like here at Kali, it wasn't visible here in the paper, and it's not as chalkboardish, as realistic as it could be. So yeah, not as well. It's has some way to go. And then the last one is a street sign displaying one-way traffic to like one of the longest places in the world, names at least. Yes, did a very good job, but it got to fair and there was no I here. When it comes to spelling, I will not give it to Microsoft Design. Yes, so that's what we have in this video so far, and then join me in the next series of videos. We're going to go through the other series of image generating software that we have, using the same categories, using the same prompts, see if they're going to be better or not compared to Microsoft Design. Okay, so to get to Microsoft Design, you'll have to go to your browser and just click on Microsoft Design. So search for that, should be like the first one there, click on that, and then you're probably going to be asked to sign in. There are different aspects to the site. So for example, we have images, greeting cards. So these are just different icons or different designs that you can select and then start straight away without necessarily using to prompt, so using a very long prompt. And when you click on any of them, there are going to be templates that you can copy as well. So today I just wanted to go through the main thing, which is going to be image generating. So when you come to that, we're just going to click on images, and before you start, you're going to be asked to sign in. So it is just easier to sign in, which is going to be on your right hand side. So click on sign in. Okay, cool. And once you're signed in, you can now start generating images. So I'm going to click on the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog and just click on generate. And then now it's going to give you 4 options that you can pick. So this is just for anyone who had not gone through the site yet or did not know about the site. So you can just go to Microsoft Design, create an account, and then this is where you can paste in your prompt, and then you can choose your size as well. Like for example, we have square, portrait, and wide. And yeah, this is the explore page where you can get ideas of prompts. So when you click on it, it's going to ask you to edit the prompts, and then you can create your own from that. And as well, you can just create your own, and this is just your own creations. So you have those 2 options. Okay, cool. So that is the video for today, and then join me tomorrow as we go through another image generating software. And I hope this video has been helpful to you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.